Hello and welcome to another episode of C-Suite, a CEO Chat. Yes. I am Shawanna Kennedy, your host. I'm super excited because here in the C-Suite, we get to talk all things the good, the bad, and yes, we have to say it, sometimes the ugly of what it looks and feel like to be a CEO. Today, I have a giant of a leader. This young lady is a doctor, Dr. Tiffany Anisette Pringle. She is somebody's corporate trainer. She's an author. She's a speaker. Yes, she's even a mom, right? She does it all. She's married to the bishop. I have to give him his credit, his due. We love Bishop Pringle. I'm excited because she is here today and we're going to have a C-suite conversation because this young lady is not only an author, a speaker, she's patting her own bag. She also is the CEO of a corporate training company, as well as now she's doing a little tap dancing where there is now the Tiffany Anisette Pringle Insurance Agency. So without further ado, won't you give my lovely guest a warm welcome as we get Dr. Tiffany Anisette Pringle in here, y'all. Let's get her in here. Hello, Dr. Tiffany. Welcome to the C-Suite.
Hello, and thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
I said a whole lot of the things that God has graced you to be able to do in this lifetime, right? We know that you have years of experience. So this is for the entrepreneur who is, multi-talented, right? We won't say multitasking, but multi-talented. And you've managed in some ways to do some of them things quite well, right? Even simultaneously. And I know we often have the self-care conversation with being a CEO and an entrepreneur. But today, I just want to, for the folks who don't and haven't had the opportunity to know you, let's just jump right into the conversation. When we think about your leadership style, and what does that look like and how has it evolved? Because we know you do corporate training, insurance, and a vast variety of things. How has your leadership style changed when we think about you even navigating from executive sales?
So the leadership style has to shift depending on what type of scenario you're faced with, the people you are dealing with. You have to be able to pivot and shift and have an open mindset because it takes different leadership styles to lead sometimes complex situations.
So what do you think the biggest change has been for you? We know you have to switch it up. Well, yeah. How do you navigate that? What does that look like for you?
So I think being able to roll up your sleeves and be a part of what's happening now and not being afraid to step into the mode of let me do it, let me show you, being able to say, I'm not too big to do that part of the job. And also providing that mentoring and coaching as often as possible.
I love it. Let me turn this thing back on. The devil is a liar. Yeah. Because, we think about media, all kind of things happen when we think about recording. And that's when I believe really seriously that God, then that means there is something that somebody needs to hear when you're like, this does not make any sense. Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes for me, it's my belief that it's not always that we should halt a thing, right? Because the conversation we're having is definitely a conversation that is needed. So it's not like saying, well, they don't need to really have this conversation. Nah. I think the enemy is just trying to throw a bunch of things out because there is some power here. And that's what happens when you have power players together. When they come together, it's like the magnet be like, it's so much energy and it's so much bigness in you. It's like, no, the enemy, because see, it ain't, look, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, it ain't me. It ain't me over here. I'm just telling you, she's packing over there. She's packing over there. So I don't even know. But let's get back into it. I want to know, when you think about your navigating all of the multiple opportunities that you have been graced to do, what does that look like for you when you think about the training? And especially now, even with the climate that we're in, with certain things. Like, we're not going to get on one particular area, but when we think about now, especially with you having the opportunity to go into different corporations with some of that, how does that, or how do you believe that's going to look or going to work for you right now in today's climate?
Well, I think training and development is something that's always needed in multiple facets. So whether you're looking at corporate, whether you're looking at the school system, or even the churches, there is a level of training that is warranted. A lot of this training that we do is soft skills training. Those are transferable skills, which means if I know how to show up with the right attitude in this environment, I can do that in the next environment and in the next environment. A lot of that shows up when we are interacting with people. And as we've heard in this new administration that we're going to be seeing people back in the office more than they were, we're going to need those skills more so than ever, because you have a different generation now who's like, going to work, what is that? I work from home, right? So now we got to learn, how do I interact with people that I never had to have face-to-face conversations with? I didn't have to interact with their attitudes. I didn't have to be a certain way because I was always in the comfort of my own space. So we realize that this soft skills training is definitely going to be necessary in this upcoming, in the few years that we have this administrator in office.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, because it's certain things that and if they were ever in the office and now have been home for quite some time, you really got to brush up. You have to brush up on certain things, because you're right. You're not used to it. You've got to get back into the grind. So with that same thought, what is actually, if you could help a entrepreneur, someone who in this time, because of life, right? They have the idea, they may have been working their dream part-time because it was still just the convenience of even being at home and trying to do both. And now that things are about to shift, what type of suggestion would you even give that entrepreneur, that business owner, to say, shoot, I actually now have to go back in the office to where they could take lunch and talk to a client. Now they're actually about to physically have to go back in. How could you help someone, some type of strategy as they prepare to transition to go back in the office?
I think time management will be one of the key areas to focus on, because you have to be able to feed your family and you want to be smart about it. The same way people have multiple jobs, I always say, look at your side hustle as your second job. Give it the same energy that you would give to someone else if you were working in their company. Never give more of you to someone else than you can give for yourself. Yes, you got to show up and be at this particular company, but doesn't mean I stop what I've been doing behind the scenes, because one day the finances, the clients, all of that will supersede what you're receiving on that 9-to-5 job that you had to take in the beginning. So never stop the hustle. Never stop doing what you know how to do well to bring in that extra income.
Yeah, I love that. That is so true. And I honestly can say, when you be like, look, #witness, I'm definitely a witness to what that look and feel like. That's why these conversations are important, that I believe they're important not only to myself, but to the viewers who get to lean in and listen in and saying, no, these are real people. These are real scenarios. These are real experiences, to know and say, no, we're doing what we have to do. And in some cases, shout out to Shay Cannon, which he call it, look, the dream funder. Stay on that dream funder, right? Before you just, let it go, because you really do even have a plan, an exit strategy. You have to have an exit strategy as you're preparing to enter even into the business of running your own business full time. So I love that whole thought.
Yeah, you cannot stop, because you don't know when you're going to have that breakthrough moment. You don't know when the influx of clientele is going to be all you need to make that transition. So you want to make sure that you don't stop, you continue perfecting your craft, because one day that side hustle will become your main job, will become your main business, and you can let everything else go aside. So my recommendations, my encouragement is, if you are navigating both, keep doing it. Sooner or later, what you do well will begin to be the first thing and the only thing that you do.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. That's so good. Having a person such as yourself with all of the experience and all of the things that you've been able to lean into, because you're a person that you're an author, right? So that's even another stream for people to know what it is that you're doing that could be that other, that second, that third, that fourth stream of income, while you're stacking on one end, as well as you even being and understanding the ins and outs of having a nonprofit, knowing what all of those things look like, being able to be a part of the community, to have your ear in different sectors, to know and hear what is going on, and actually honestly hear the needs of the people and what is needed and happening, to be ahead of it. So not even a learning curve, but to, in some cases, because depending on who you're connected to be ahead of that. I love one of the things that I know that you are currently doing right now, outside of course, yes, the corporate training, but you decided to lean a little bit to another field of experience and expertise. See, we're talking, remember, today we have Dr. Tiffany Anisette Pringle. If you are just tuning in to the C-Suite CEO chat, this is one young lady who does not let any grass grow under her feet. And if God gives her an idea, she's like in the Bible. If he's come to the foot of her bed and he said, daughter, this is something that you should be doing, then she is going to go all in until she finishes the course and gets the degree. Yes, she's degreed up over there. And in this case, it leads me to my question. When you decided to lean into insurance, look, we know we have that blessed assurance, but you also provide insurance to others. Talk a little bit about that and what that looks like as a business, because this is the good, the bad, and sometimes ugly of being a CEO. Talk to us a little bit about the Tiffany Anisette Pringle Insurance Company.
So interesting enough, I never saw myself in insurance, never thought about doing it, had no interest whatsoever. And a friend of mine just kept bringing an opportunity to me, kept bringing it. I would shut her down. She would keep coming. She was persistent. So by that time, I said, I want to challenge myself. Can I do this? Can I pass this test that is required? And I did it, did not know where it was going to take me, but I did know that once you have that license, there was so many opportunities and things that you can do with that license to become a millionaire, to become more established, and you're helping people. So I did it, and fast forward to where we are, we're 5 years in. I am now operating a full-fledged insurance agency with agent partners. So we have about 10 agent partners now on our team, and I'm so excited. We have been winning several. We won a trip this year. We won some other awards this year, all because of our efforts in the community. I look at this part of my business as a way to serve another population of people. So the first business is serving corporate. This business is literally serving the senior population, because I work with Medicare recipients. And they actually go hand in hand, because I am able to train and talk about Medicare and simplify the concepts so that seniors can understand these benefits. A lot of times when individuals turn 65, they have no clue what to do first. They don't know what they have access to. And to be able to explain that as simple as possible allows me to utilize my training skill set that I have on the Inspire consulting side. But I love this space. And I remember when I got into it, I told my husband, I said, can I have two passions? Can I have more than one passion? Because I really love this. So I love training and development, and I really love helping the senior population. So now I'm literally building out the agency where we have agent partners that can go out in the community and serve the senior population as well alongside with me and make money in the process. It is a lucrative opportunity. Once you know your craft, there is so much money that can be made, but you want to continue studying because it is also a field that you will be studying all the time. So I tell individuals, if you're not afraid to learn, if you're not afraid to be mentored, if you're not afraid to make money, then let's jump on board with me. I'll help you get all those things done. And you have to have those conversations because people say, yeah, I need money or I want to make money, but do they really want to do what it takes to make the money? When I tell you it is possible, you got to be willing to get up out your seat and go out there to the people. You cannot sit at home and wait for your phone to ring and live this cushy, what you think lifestyle should be. You got to be out there working and grinding.
Yeah, no, well, you definitely want that grind. That needs to be one of your bedazzled t-shirts. Well, I'm just saying, if you really knew her like I knew her, you would agree with me too. I love it because you're one of the people that say, no, I'm not making excuses, because I'm big on saying, let's make the necessary adjustment and remove the excuses. And you do that. So no matter what it looks like, I've been big on saying every season is my season. And that's because if I choose to do certain things a certain way, every season could be my season. It's not like this is my season or spring, summer, winter. No, every season can be your season when you are doing things and planting. That's why I say, do something today that your future self can thank you for. So that's why I believe we are reaping those benefits of the things we've done in the past, so that the things that we're doing even right now in the present, that our future self is going to say, thank you. No, thank you. Yes. So that's to the budding entrepreneur, business owner. It's like, stay to it. Stay to she called it the grind, stay to the hustle, whatever that thing that you know that you're passionate about. And I say in this case, with some of the things that I get to do, I say, man, I love this. And the kicker is I get paid to do this. What a benefit as a business owner. But then we have to talk about a little bit, because every now and then you may get somebody that, for whatever reason, good, bad, or indifferent, every now and then you may get someone that can't fulfill their end of the deal, the contract. How do you navigate those spaces when, sometimes there could be a delay in an invoice, if you will, being processed when you think about that bad side of being an entrepreneur versus you on someone else's time?
So the thing is, you got to figure out what clients you want, right? I think that's important, because the type of client determines how you get paid. And I made up my mind some time ago. I didn't want to deal with the onesies and the twosies. Like, take me straight to corporate. Take me to where they can cut the check and they're not, having to wait for another payment coming in from somewhere else to take care of what I have already delivered. So identify what type of client you want and decide how do you want to serve those clients, and tailor your business to meet those needs of those type of businesses so that you can continually be fed and you're not worried about, how you're going to get your invoice paid. On the insurance side, again, compensation comes directly from the carrier. So I'm not waiting for Tina and Sean to make a payment in order for me to get commission. I am getting paid directly from the carrier. So sometimes, we want to help people, but we got to figure out where's the bread and butter. You know, the people that you help, where can you place them? And who needs to get most of your attention in order for you to feed your family?
That's good. That's good. I hope you listening. I hope you see. That's why you have to lean in. And it says iron sharpens iron. And it really does help to know that you could even have these conversations with someone who actually get it. Someone who's had the opportunity, because did you know this young lady, not only insurance, but she also has her patent. She's done a patent on a bag. So when I tell you when they say she got her own money, she got her own money. This young lady has really, honest and truly, I'm a little fun here, but I love her with the love of the Lord. And I am excited and I get proud. I could use the word proud to know and to have watched your journey and to see all of the ways God has blessed you and your family exceedingly and abundantly above what the average person would have any idea to believe and or think. With that, talk a little bit about a person. If we're talking to someone that we're creators in some way, we're all creators. It's what we're choosing to create. In this regard, you decided again, you went all in. I told you she goes all in. And in this case, she had a bag design before it was ever a thing. Let's say that. Let's say that. Before it was a thing, this young lady did the patent for the bag on wheels. Talk to a person that just might even be an innovator, a creator that makes products of some sort. How would you encourage that person? What happened for you when that happened?
So I would just say, continue putting your stuff out there, because you never know who needs what you have. And if God put it in you, it's because someone else needs it. So we have ideas all the time, and focus on the one that will give you the most joy, that will allow you to have the most passion in creating it, that you can serve others with it. That's the idea that you focus on. And then don't be afraid to put it out in the world, because you never know who needs what you have. The moment we start keeping things to ourselves, we cannot serve others. We never know how we can bless someone else's life until we put out what God has put in us to the world.
To do like this, because it felt, I tell you, we got a professional in the house. I love it. That was really good, because it's so true. It is so true.
People let fear take over why they can't or they won't. And fear is
speak
real.
to it. Yeah, speak to it.
Fear is real, but you got to want it more than you fear it. Like, how bad do you want it? Can you taste it? Can you feel it? Can you see it? Can you experience it in your mind? How bad do you really want it? And sometimes you got to be I would say a fool of yourself, right? Just to do it and fall and flop and learn. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. But yes, I understand fear is real. Some of you experience it to a whole nother level, but you don't get over it until you do it and do it and do it again and do it again and just keep doing it, right? So sometimes you have to talk to yourself and just say, I'm doing this, this is uncomfortable, but I'm here. And you just never know what you being vulnerable can do for someone else and enhance or change their lives.
That is so true. I say do it, knees shaking, teeth chattering, and then fail fast, fail forward though, but fail fast, because you do need to try it. And so that way you'll need to know what shifts you need to make. And if it's something you say, okay, well, at least I tried, at least I know, right? What is it? Try, die, do is a lie. Did I just date myself right there? Did I just date myself right there? But yeah, you really have to be okay to put if it's something that you believe that it's you've been called to do, something you've been called to create, a people you've been called to serve, you have got to allow the why to be bigger than any excuse that you would ever make. I know that for myself. The why has to be bigger. And when your why is bigger, it's the thing that you will be able to hold outside of Jesus, be able to hold as that anchor to, to keep you going, to keep you moving on the days when you will have to go it alone. You will. Yes, spoiler alert. You will have to go it alone a lot of times, because some people, your dream is your dream. Your dream is not their dream. And a lot of people want the support of family and close friends, but that's not always so. So the quicker people understand that, you will move different. If you have something, you're saying, oh, I have 50, I have 100 people, I have a big family, this gonna go big. Don't do it with it's nice. Matter of fact, the benefit would be saying, oh, and they do too. They buy it too. They support it too.
Right.
See what need is out there for the thing that you have to offer, to see what's in the world for it. Do your due diligence, do your work in searching things out. Even if you already doing something and want to do something new, see what the people are calling for. Where can you fill in the gap to make your money? Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I wanted to say.
And sometimes you just have to do things and just see where it lands you, right?
Yeah.
I think we get caught up in the planning a lot. You cannot plan everything out. You may have an idea, but the actual plan of how it's going to play out will never be as you thought it. But you have to just begin, right? Just do it. That's real.
Yeah.
Just start. That's real. So I would encourage someone, if they're on the fence, just start. You never know where it can go.
Yeah. Look, and we want to see you in the winner's circle. Yeah. We want to say, we want to see you in the winner's circle. I love this conversation. I do appreciate you, because I know your schedule is packed, and that you were able to pause for the cause of this CEO chat today. Again, you already know that I appreciate you. Is there anything else you would like to say to our viewers before we get out of here?
The only thing I would say is, whatever you're doing, continue doing it. Allow yourself to explore new opportunities, meet new people, and have an open mind that anything is possible, because it truly is.
Yeah, I love it. Don't you just love Dr. Tiffany Anisette Pringle? Make sure you are following her on all social media platforms. She's Dr. Tiffany Anisette Pringle. Dr. Tiffany, don't you go nowhere. Let me get them out of here. I appreciate you all so much for just tuning in for today's episode of C-Suite, a CEO Chat. You already know, I'm Shawanna Kennedy. I am your host, and this is a safe place. Business owner, entrepreneur. If you're a budding business owner or entrepreneur, this is a place where you can come in, lean in, and get some tips, some strategies from experts who have done a wide variety, a vast number of things. And when I think about the opportunity and the people that I've had the opportunity to interview, when you think about the 50, 60, 100 years worth of experience that has come across this platform, I am truly blessed, and I hope that you are too. So remember, don't be afraid. Do me a solid. Go ahead, hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell and let someone know about this show. You already know I am here for you. You know how to find me on all social media platforms. And I will see you on the next episode of C-Suite, a CEO Chat. Bye for now. This episode is brought to you by Kennedy Media and Entertainment, your premier video productions and digital visibility partner. Working with business owners just like you to be seen, heard, and paid by elevating your brand with high-impact video content, online visibility strategies, and expert social media management. Ready to stand out in your industry, on and off camera? Contact Kennedy Media today, and let's turn your message into a movement. Because visibility isn't optional, it's essential. Contact KennedyMediaLLC.com, KennedyMediaLLC.com, and let's boost your brand's visibility. It's time for you to be seen, heard, and known for your expertise. Contact us today.